So how do you make a successful protein antibody? At SDIX, we have 5 critical factors that we consider. First is the end-use application. Second is the antigen strategy that we use. Third is the immunization strategy. Fourth is our screening strategy. And fifth is how we're going to purify the antibodies that you need. But let's start first with the end-use application. Initially, SDIX takes time to talk to you about your end-use requirements. Are you trying to recognize a folded protein? Are you trying to recognize an unfolded protein in a Western blot, for example? This helps to dictate the next 4 pathways we follow. So the next on the list is the antigen strategy. In the antigen strategy, we consider again your end-use application, and we might use a peptide, for example, for Western blot. Or if you're asking for a more demanding assay, we might use a native protein to arrive at an antibody that will work in flow cytometry or sandwich ELISA. If it's a native protein and you want to do something even more complicated, like bind to the cell surface or do some sort of functional assay, we need to consider a host of other factors about the protein in a bioinformatic approach in a sense. In this case, what we do is we might consider the topology of the protein. We might consider post-translational modifications. We might consider interaction domains with other proteins. All of these factors will go into the antigen design. Once we've arrived at a proper antigen design, we move into the immunization phase. In the immunization phase, we can use classical immunization techniques and use classical adjuvants, for example, or we can use a more modern technique such as the GAT platform where genetic immunization is involved. In the screening phase, what we try to do is set up an assay that most closely resembles what your end-use goals are. In this case, we try to arrive at the antibody of interest to move forward for extension or to a hybridoma development program that is creating antibodies that are going to work in your assay. From there, we move into the purification end of the program. In this case, we might do classical purifications using conjugated peptides or proteins to resins, or we might do something much more complicated where we cross-absorb antibodies out of the serum that may react to paralogs, for example, in your final sample extract. At SDIX, we believe that these 5 factors are very important for delivering a successful antibody program.